Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everyone. I'm so glad to be here today. We had great sessions yesterday, so today should be even better. So I'm here today for a reason. I met Anouk a month ago only, and how many things we did since then, right? A lot of initiatives are coming. And here we are in Château-Frontenac, great city of Quebec. So I will tell you a bit about Numana and Kirk, but the most important part is that challenge we came up a month ago about, is there a role for the grid, the energy grid, in defense, in the economic recovery in Canada? Big question. So I don't have the answers, unfortunately, but a lot of thinking went on. But before telling you about the story, I will say a few words in French. We're in Quebec, so I will talk with my friends. Alors bonjour les amis francophones de la ville de Québec, de la province du Québec, de l'Alberta, des Maritimes, Nouvelle-Écosse. Il y a quelqu'un du Maine, peut-être qu'elle parle français. Il y a beaucoup de francophones qui sont déménagés au Maine. Alors, je vais faire la présentation en anglais, par respect pour nos amis de l'Ouest et du reste du Canada et des États-Unis. Mais on peut faire la business en français n'importe quand, entre nous et avec des partenaires. Donc, what I told is, we love you guys, right? But we're polite. I'll do the presentation in English because we like to welcome friends to Quebec City. So here we go. So before telling the little story, the reason I'm here, I just want to say I'm interested in politics, economics, business development, sustainable development, the environment, social well-being, the elderly, and humanity. That's very important to understand where I'm going with the role of Quantum in the grid. So Numana is a macro accelerator in the emerging technologies and models. So Quantum is one of the emerging technologies. We're funded by the government of Quebec and the government of Canada. Alors on remercie le gouvernement du Québec et du Canada. Grâce à eux, on peut livrer notre mission qu'on trouve exceptionnelle. We facilitate technological innovation to create value and prosperity for our community. Who is the community? Well, it's Canadians, it's Quebec, businesses, people who use services. We make emerging technologies and disruptive model accessible to all organizations. So we don't only work with the academic world, with ongoing research project, we make sure also that companies develop and sell their product and services. That's where we get money to pay for our public services. Our drivers for action, well, we build strong, sustainable, and inclusive ecosystem. You saw all the great partners in the video. We catalyze collaboration across sectors, disciplines, and regions. That's the reason we work closely with Alberta and other provinces, Europe and the US. We accelerate the development and adoption of strategic technologies. I strongly believe that there's a lot of needs for the grid, for the next generation of the grid, in my opinion. And we showcase the nation expertise locally and internationally. We saw great startup yesterday. So one of our role is to connect them with top leaders, with the industry leaders. Now a few words about our quantum communication project. So Numana is working on many initiatives, but I'm here today to tell you about Kirk. So Mr. Larocque, you're from McGill, so why we chose the name Kirk? The first Captain Kirk in Star Trek is William Shatner. So he's from Montreal, he studied at McGill, so maybe he's an uncle. You might know him.
There's a William Shatner building on the campus of McGill.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about William Shatner. No. So we're a quantum communication test bed. We're based in, we have a hub. So imagine, for those who know Bell and TELUS, so it's a live telecom network. We operate a live telecom network in Quebec, Montreal, and Sherbrooke. And within each cities, we have a hub, and we have multiple connections. And we do that for companies to come and test their equipment on a live network. So it's a multi-node infrastructure. We have classical and quantum infrastructure and equipment deployed as we speak. more than 100 kilometers of dedicated optical fiber links. If you go near Laval University in the upcoming days, you might see a Bell truck. They're putting black fiber for us as we speak. We have more than 20 partners and collaborators. So that number won't be good in a few weeks because since we deployed, there's a lot of demand in Canada and abroad. And the 10 projects underway is no good anymore. It's probably more than 20. So for my quantum friends, the big questions a year ago was, do you do PQC or QKD, right? There's no more of that question. So we're hybrid. We use both technologies. We welcome manufacturers from both worlds to really develop, test their equipment, and maybe find great solutions for our economy. Now, here's the little story for you. So we came up with Anouk with the challenge, with the question, how does decentralized energy support Canada's economic centers, and how can we establish independence and technology sovereignty to build resilient energy systems sustainably? In a few words, there will be a lot of money invested in Canada for recovery, and we need to make it right, and we need to have an ROI on it. Basically, that's the big question. The answer is yes, there's a very important role for the grid, the energy grid, and I will explain you why. I will address a few key themes. The first one is the elephants with an S in the room. Canada Economic Recovery Plan, that's where I do politics for those who are asking me what I will present. So I might risk my career today, but I'm ready for it. Energy and communication grids. In the telecom world, we don't talk about a grid, but my idea is that there's a great synergy between the two. One needs the other. So the telecom network needs energy and vice versa. And finally, the quantum communication solutions to attain those goals. So when I saw the elephant on the big screen, I was impressed, but I've never seen it on a very big screen. So maybe it's too big. It's probably too big, but that's the best image I found. So I will be a bit narcissistic in the next few seconds, so all pictures of myself. But that is to explain where I'm coming from when I'm talking about sovereignty, conflicts in the world, and technology. So I was born in New York a long time ago. Those are my two dogs. Since then, I have German Shepherds, so they were taking care of me. So I'm proud to be American. More difficult in these days in Canada, but I'm very proud of it. As a young kid, I was brought back to Quebec. So I was raised in a French-speaking environment, Catholic environment, but I had dual thinking whenever I was working on professionally and at school. The second picture, my mom brought me in Banff a long, long time ago again, and she bought me a cowboy hat. Well, I asked for it. She bought to me, and I was horse riding most of the days because on the farm where I was born, we had horses. So I wanted to do that in Alberta as well. So since then, we have friends there, but we're quite different. So Alberta and Quebec, we think differently. So I will talk a bit about that as well. And the last picture is very important. For those who remember Y2K, the end of the world in 2000, my mother, she was working at Hydro-Quebec, and I just ended a career at Bell Canada. So today I'm here presenting you about the grid, the energy grid that didn't exist back then. And at Bell, I was installing copper wires. There was cell phones, but not for normal people. So another elephant, and so the elephant was the fact that I'm from the US and I need to deal with it, but I'm good with it. The other elephant, the context. So we hear a lot of the advantages and the promises made by quantum technologies and AI. So if you're selling services or products, of course, you might be bring up to push for the advantages, but there's menace, there's threats that is coming with it, and Numana and Kirk are working on that part of it. Now, I'm totally for AI. I've been working in this field for the last 10 years, and I just started in quantum world a few years ago, so I totally believe in it. It's a bit scary, but in Canada, we have all the resources, the expertise, the knowledge to deal with it and make it an opportunity. So the last elephant, that's the biggest one. So that's probably where the big elephant comes from. So for those who don't know, we're at war. We have a tariff war between the US and Canada. It is happening right now in BC. The forestry industry is suffering. In Alberta, it's difficult because they want to deal with the US, but at the same time, the neighbors are looking like, what are you doing? In Ontario, they brought back the price of beer, so you can buy a can of beer for cheap, but the automotive industry is falling apart. And in Quebec, it's difficult because when you talk about aluminum and steel, we're very sad. So we try, we lose, we suffer, we lose jobs, but at the same time, we're building a great infrastructure. Hydro-Quebec is bringing energy to New York State and in New England. So it goes good and bad at the same time, and then between each other, we look at all provinces, how they do, and we try to work together. So in the middle, I feel like the little boy you saw before. For me, I see the two parents. Are they going to divorce? Why are they fighting? They should go along and all that. So that's how I feel sometimes when I look at it. And my job as an adult is to make the business, make the sovereignty work. So that's where I'm aiming, and I don't give too much interest of the basic of the conflict. I take the opportunity and I try to fix it. But nobody knows me, but I'm trying. Souveraineté territoriale, that's worst. I mean, between the US and Canada, it's just an economic challenge. We'll deal with it. It's going to be okay. In Ukraine and Russia, it's quite different, right? People are dying there. But why I am mentioning that is I know people, they lose electric central like every week. So they're getting pretty good to reboot the electric central. They're way better than we do. We have all the equipment infrastructure, and we just maintain them. There, they need to rebuild it every week. Telecom has the same thing. It's been used to spy on the other, to cut communication, and use it as a cybersecurity arm. And NATO, why I mention it, well, let's go back to the little boy. Usually, NATO is working together with the US. Right now, it's not clear the position of Americans, so I look at it, and NATO is like, geez, what are we doing? So they try to recover, they use technology, and when we go back to quantum, to cybersecurity and energy, well, they're in it right now, and they need to play alone without the biggest partner. We're done with the elephant, so let's look at the other stuff. Going back to the, so for those who don't know, November 4th, there was the announcement of the budget, Canada Strong program from the federal government. $1 trillion to be invested in 5 years. We don't know where the money will go, but up to now there was 2 announcements made. So about a $5 billion in energy, probably more, very soon. Another $5 billion in minerals. I didn't write the real number because it's changing, it's not clear. But it's big numbers. And I didn't write defense because that's something else. But where it's important is the economic center. So my message is there will be $1 trillion invested in the Canadian economy. It's an investment. That means that the money needs to be useful. We need an ROI on it. So the grid, the energy grid, needs to be very efficient. So don't tell me about a second layer of resiliency. We need a third one, a fourth one. It cannot go down, so the investment needs to run all the way, all the time, and be secured. The role of quantum communication and quantum technologies will be to protect it, look at it, and save and guarantee an ROI. Quick example, so Quebec right now, so my friends from Hydro-Quebec, if I make a mistake, you can fix it during your panel. But there's more than $5 billion invested by Quebec in a line going to New York City. My own place, that's quite exciting. And there will be interconnections with the New England states. There's a deal ongoing to make investment with Newfoundland. There's nothing with Ontario. When I was a kid, I was wondering, how come? I mean, neighbors are right on the other side of the river. There should be a connection. I'm ready to put $10 on the table that there will be interconnection in the next 10 years because we have no choice. There's connections between Ontario and the US, between Alberta. with the pipelines and so on. So we will see big change in the upcoming decennies. So why absolute resiliency? I really believe in it. It's very important. So if you buy a nice house like the one there, the white, no, I was not supposed to say that, but you need an insurance on it. So if you invest billions of dollars on something, you need to buy insurance. So if you invest $1 trillion in infrastructure and manufacturing plant and so on, you need to protect it. If you buy a car to go to work, well, the car needs to work all the time. You cannot miss a day of work to ensure the ROI. All that needs to be protective in terms of data as well. So all the data that is that will occur in the investment and then that will be produced needs to be guaranteed. So guarantee investments, productivity, and resiliency of trade centers. So when I talk about $1 trillion, honestly, it's nothing, because yesterday the Saudis announced with Trump $1 trillion investment, which will be bigger than our entire country. So, but that to say that another reason to make it work, we have absolutely no choice. So your job, no pressure, your job is to make sure that we will have energy, ongoing energy all the time, everywhere, where there will be a dollar invested. New paradigm. So what I'm talking about is a new paradigm. Oh, by the way, decentralized energy grid, Anouk, I wrote a Z on purpose. Someone changed it. Who changed it? I use it, I always write it with a Z. So reshaping national, international alliances. I talked about it, so it is changing right now. So there was a deal announced, I think, this morning. Now you can buy wine in Quebec directly from Ontario and have it shipped by mail. That was impossible a year ago. So that is a big change in paradigm. Now the next generation technology infrastructure, I don't think it exists. So the way I see the platform, the technology platform for the grid, doesn't exist. So it's a great opportunity for Canada to work together and develop that knowledge. And how to secure and control the energy grid? Well, that's the next two slides. Bear with me, Sylvain. Don't need to read that. That's not for you. So I won't go into details because I forgot to say it's not a technical presentation, but all to say that some people if you ask a question to an academic in the computer science, if you ask when it's going to work, your computer, your machine, and your promises, you're probably going to hear like 10 years, 5 to 10 years. If you talk with business people, they might tell you, well, 3 to 5 to, okay, maybe 10 years, you don't know. I would say that you need to protect it right now, and that's what the slide here presents you. There is solutions out there, technologies that can protect your infrastructure as of today, and we need to do it. We have no choice, because all the data that we're creating, that we're sending on the web, en français on disait dans l'ancien temps, l'autoroute de l'information, can be hacked at any time, and they can harvest, keep the information, and decrypt it later. So why I'm not talking technical today? Well, it's for Sylvain again. I wanted to make it clear to you. But did you understand half of what I mentioned, Sylvain? So the reason I didn't go technical really is because we are working with the world leaders. We have Bell, TELUS, Toshiba, Terry. I promise I would say your name. So Terry is here with us. If we have a question about the really next-gen net infrastructure to protect the grid, we have the right people in the room, in Quebec and Canada. And we need to work together because we don't have a choice, but also because it is a business opportunity, an amazing one. Marc-Claude, tu vas présenter cet après-midi the IBM and the Pink case. So we have really next level expertise here in Canada. So Nokia, Honeywell, IDQ. I wanted to mention Evolution Q. So some are asking how you're going to protect the infrastructure. So for those who heard about the quantum keys, or the keys using quantum, they're experts in that field. And they're based, it's Michael Mosca, an emerite professor from Toronto University. He's in Quebec all the time. I don't know how he makes it. He's probably quantum moving. Sienna from Ottawa. Crypto4a, actually, who's manufacturing equipment. And by the way, For those who are asking if there's equipment, when those technology will be available, well, Toshiba can ship you equipment tomorrow. So there's machines that are being sold. There's box. Those who think a software comes in a box. Crypto is building equipment in Quebec. So the business is ongoing as we speak. It's not later. Now, there's a difference between many things. I don't want to say that people are lying. But you know what? There's also, since we launched the infrastructure, the network, and the equipment, along with our friends from Toshiba, now we have American companies who are coming to Quebec to test their equipment because there's no such a test bed. And we have a lot of expertise in the university. So they find us somewhere, probably on the internet, and then they come and they connect with us. There's also European companies. There's 2 or 3 UK companies who are testing right now. Why? Because they want to work on live network provided by operators, and they want to connect with world leaders like Toshiba, Honeywell, and them. I have another 90 seconds, so I'll go very fast. That is my last slide. That's the most important one. I'm pretty sure you guessed that this is Château Frontenac. This is La Conférence de Québec in 1943. Important events that happened back then. I won't go in that direction. The point here is that at Château Frontenac in Quebec City, there are very important events and meetings. There's difficult discussion to have, but it's the right place to do it. In my opinion, the last 2 days were for important discussion. And hopefully we will continue that. So that pictures is from 43 with Roosevelt and Churchill. The host country was Canada, but it was made, it happened in Quebec, and they did it again in 44. So maybe next year we can continue the discussion. On the right, with colors, we had the opportunity to welcome the CEO of Toshiba earlier this year. That was in Montreal. He was on the floor talking with scientists, with business people, startups, quite amazing. On the right, Terry, you're everywhere. I mean, all the slides, you're there. So, and the last picture on the bottom, those are international leaders. Again, Terry's there. But we have leaders from the US, from Europe. We have the government of Quebec, leaders in cybersecurity, AI, and quantum. And the goal of that meeting is really to rethink how we work together, collaborate, and develop technologies here in Canada. And it is actually happening. Hey, merci beaucoup. Un grand merci. Thank you, Anouk, for the opportunity to join the group. It's amazing. Merci.